Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. Since we have a lot of cryptocurrencies and economics to cover today, including Ripple and XRP, let's get right down to business with Fortress CEO. All of you have presumably heard the news by now. Not at all, and that's fine. Recently, Ripple made an offer to acquire Fortress EO, a company with a wide range of interests. These interests include custody services, tokenization, and more. Since it was so thrilling at the time, we couldn't help but be enthusiastic about it. However, a couple things happened before of the purchase as well. The fortress itself was one of the major ones that was broken into. You also won't be able to gain enterprise-level acceptance from established institutions. If your company is focused on enterprise-level use cases, then you are saying and doing these things. If your system's security is lacking overall, this is a major problem. On Twitter, he stated, a few weeks ago, we signed a letter of intent to purchase Fortress Trust. We have since scrapped plans for a complete purchase. Fortress, though, will continue to get funding from Ripple. The Fortress Group is extremely skilled and has developed items that meet genuine consumer demands. Despite the fact that the outcome is not what was hoped for, we will continue to back them and look forward to working together again. Outside of this context, many people view this as bad news. Then they start making jokes about XRP, such as, hey, look at Brad Garland's house as he dumps his XRP bag. Moreover, I think they simply withdrew because, in my estimation, the stolen sum was quite large. This is further evidence that the fortifications infrastructure was not as secure as advertised. You already know this, but Zach XBT outside of this, the squad comes out as quite unprofessional. Certainly understandable if not. What I'm reading now is actually Ben Wise's Twitter response to that last phrase, which is why I know it's ridiculous. On two separate occasions, Scott Purcell was able to steal from his customers. Here, Purcell, the CTO of Fortress Trust, informs Fortune that phrase can be disregarded. It's incredibly fascinating that Mike Belch has chosen to break our NDA in order to express his disappointment in me for not selling the trust company to him, as seen by his angry tweets. Yes, let's investigate this matter in greater detail. I think it's better for Ripples if they don't get Fortress Trust, if I'm being totally honest. This makes me extremely delighted, as I believe this piece appeared earlier this month, about the same time that we first started to hear Ripple talking about their acquisition. And it made me a little worried because you really can't say that about a project with the scope and scale of Fortress, right? Like, where you genuinely have institutional backing. And when I first saw this, I was worried. Nonetheless, I'm overjoyed by this development. The panic that has been spread over this seems ridiculous to me. In the space below, we want you to share your reactions. But what I want to discuss with you is a recent announcement made by the BIS. I'm excited to have this conversation with you. The Singaporean Monetary Authority was suspected of wrongdoing here. They are seen here correcting the tag after misreading it. This is the Singaporean government's central bank. Project Mariana or Mariana I examined automated market makers, AMS, that used state-of-the-art algorithms to draw liquidity from hypothetical wholesale CBCs in addition to the Swiss franc, euro, and Singapore dollar. The more we look into it, the more intriguing the scenario becomes. First and foremost, the BIS, the central banks of France, Singapore, and Switzerland, and Project Mariana have all successfully tested cross-border wholesale CBCs. Just recently, on the 28th, something happened. In order to provide the framework for the next generation of financial market infrastructures, this study looked at how well wholesale CBDCs would trade and settle in hypothetical euros, Singapore dollars, and Swiss francs. This evaluation focused on automated market makers. We'll get into the reasons for the intrigue in just a second. However, before we get there, I need to clarify a few things. Therefore, the full procedure is explained here. As a proof of concept for the principles provided, BLT conducted successful tests of the trading and settlement of imaginary Swiss francs, Singapore dollars, and euros wrapped in CBDCs between imaginary financial institutions. An intriguing type of decentralized exchange, called an automated market maker, trades and settles spot FX transactions without human intervention, bridges for the seamless movement of wrapped CBDCs between networks, and a common technical token standard given by a public blockchain to allow trading and interoperability between the various currencies. Relatedly, it is simple law that these protocols may be leveraged by future financial market infrastructures to facilitate cross-border trade and settlement between financial organizations. This is a really big deal. In addition, the tokenization and defiance technologies you employ are in their infancy. Additional research and testing is necessary. Innovation Cluster and its international partners will continue to examine potential benefits and challenges based on relevant use cases. Therefore, as we examine it, we find it really intriguing. We all know that in May, Ripple formally unveiled their platform allowing central banks to issue their own CBDCs, which is why the topic is so intriguing to me at the moment. This relates to cross-border payments made by CBDCs for wholesale settlement. It is also emphasized here that this will greatly simplify the challenges of settling and even linking CBDCs. If you follow through to their post dissecting Ripple's overall version of the CBTC platform, you'll see that they have full command over the entire process. Additionally, as we saw on all this Ripple join, the BIS is working for us on cross-border payments, which is something else to keep in mind. Liquidity, which has already been discussed in the video that Ripple has on the central bank digital currency page on their website, is another important aspect to concentrate on in this situation. I brought this up previously, but it's important to reiterate because of how interconnected the BIS is with the local area. The newest payment methods are being implemented at this time. And I think everybody ought to have a solid understanding of their current projects, goals, and technological tools. It also appears that there is some sort of connection between DeFi, the DLT blockchain, and the BIS outside of this context. That's the same as rewinding to the month of November in the year 2022. Since we were now in November of 2022. Unfortunately, the vast majority of individuals overlook this. At this point, the BIS, along with the central banks of France, Singapore, and Switzerland, stated their desire to look into DeFi protocol-based settlement for international CPC trading and sales, Project Mariana. We can now see how the project will use non-standard methods to automate the settlement and trading of foreign currencies. Using automated market makers, we can create the next generation of financial infrastructure for exploring the cross-border trading of wholesale CPCs. I am quite hopeful about this AMS because of the basis they are employing, as I have already indicated. In this scenario, the icing on the cake will be an MLM. DeFi, which automates marketplaces for cryptocurrencies and digital assets using smart contract technologies, is also claimed to be used in this initiative in order to automate foreign exchange markets and settlement, which could improve cross-border payments and support a priority of the Group of 20, G20, which is also quite interested in crypto legislation. DeFi is based on shared blockchain technology. In addition, protocols utilize risky liquidity and state-of-the-art algorithms to foretell the future prices of two or more tokenized assets. It is possible that comparable M protocols may be used to construct the next generation of financial infrastructure that will facilitate the international transfer of CBCs. Date, November 2022. Today, August 11th, look at this verse. Last year, ReflexDev revealed the XLS30 specification, which has the potential to transform the XRP Ledger. This year, ReflexDev released the AMM automated market maker technical features and improvements for the XRP Ledger. Let's check out what's changed and what we can do with it. The XLS30 specification requires an AMM that is native to the protocol and linked to the order book-based decentralized exchange on the XRP Ledger, as we can see. It's fascinating that it's been available on the DevNet since November of 2020. There are currently hundreds of AFM pools being created to test the functionality, And many more people are making advantage of these pools to trade assets on the DevNet FAD XLS30D to the XRP Ledger mainnet. There will then be voting, and there hasn't been much voting on this issue thus yet. However, as of this writing, the AMM has received precisely 0 votes. We are waiting to see what the AMM does, or hoping that this will go away. That's why it's important. When/if it passes. David Schwartz probably cited this as the most exciting development to the XRP ledger ever. It is now clear that the change requires continued support from 80% of validators for a period of 2 weeks. In the event that this threshold is met, we encourage any and all comments, suggestions, and bug reports as the XLS30D is released to the mainnet. Correspondence skills are crucial. How can developers of XLS30D financial apps incorporate AMM into trading and liquidity interfaces? They do provide a framework. Traders benefit from the streamlined transaction routing. Liquidity providers can reduce their short-term losses by using the novel auction method. One-sided or two-sided liquidity provisioning allows non-financial apps to facilitate quick and simple asset swaps within apps or checkout flows, while also automatically receiving the order book's or AMO's most optimal rate. As I mentioned before, I think this is the icing on the cake. I've been telling you folks for a while that Project Mariana is crucial to the BIS's research into this technology and its deployment, and I believe that they are now verifying my claims. Many of these endeavors are ones that I follow closely. Also, a huge props to Mickey B. Fresh for that. The release of primary market liquidity on the XRP ledger has unleashed a wealth machine, as evidenced by Mr. Fresh's time spent detailing how the AMM liquidity pool will change the game for XRP. Other examples include the trio of TTS and tech that is simply unsurpassed, as well as a brilliant solution to the age-old liquidity dilemma. Eventually, the XRP ledger or the XRP DeFi ecosystem will become a true wealth machine, as David Schwartz explains in the video. This will be accomplished by integrating the Ripple Mets on-demand liquidity flow into the XRP Ledger decentralized exchange and the AMS Prisma routing on-demand liquidity volume. This sparked serious work to integrate DEX queues into OTL, and it's worth a look. There has been a major push to include DEX queues in ODSL. Having the ability to process amens is a must for this. That is more likely to happen now that we know we need a wonderful stable coin, like the US dollar or European state euro, atop the XRP ledger. We lack truly solid, stable coins in the major currencies, which would make using the DEX SKUs more advantageous. As a result, we, too, are praying for it to occur. We were on the verge of success. 2.5 years ago, the SEC filed a complaint against us. I think the agreement we had was about to come to a close. That throws an unexpected wrench into the plan. For now, though, we're trying to convince banks and other major financial institutions to join the one by offering them a few high and stable coins in exchange for their cooperation. So why is this so important? Please show your appreciation to Mickey B. Fresh by checking out their Twitter and YouTube channels and watching the clip I just shared. While we were looking at Prisma, I did mention this, and it does significantly alter the playing field. Also, I think it's great that David Schwartz brought up the fact that they had lofty goals even before the SEC case was brought to light. Because of the case, we were able to generate a lot of extra money, so I'm thankful for that. And it seems like things are really picking up steam now that there have been so many substantial conversations with central banks. Furthermore, we witnessed a ripple effect of collaboration between the BIS and its cross-border payment center and other major institutions. We know from the videos that the AMM is the most important factor, but we also see that M and polls offer several ways to increase your yield that aren't related to costs. Liquidity providers, LPs, benefit from an increase in volatility and XRP volume in 3 ways: higher returns from LP tokens, swap fees, and volatility harvesting goal trading strategies. This is extremely exciting because the XRP white paper describes MLP tokens as super premium collateral, which gives liquidity providers absolute confidence that your assets are always redeemable. There is zero impact from rent-seeking whales or centralized middlemen. The XLS30D provides both a safety net and a cryptographic deluge. And I am quite excited about this. Listen, if this bill passes, it will be the first of its kind. I'm telling you, I'm super excited about this. Even the sanctified ecosystem of ammo is on the verge of a nuclear explosion, as shown here. Chain liquidity, which refers to the flow of funds from lenders to borrowers, is essential for the smooth operation of any financial market. The potential for those that own XRP is enormous. You can experience exhilarating levels of wealth growth by lending out your XRP, and this is where you may, in a sense, become your own bank. From the holder's standpoint of XRP, this should be approved because there is nothing else quite like it, barring the possibility of becoming a yield supplier. Nothing about this should cause anxiety. There is danger if you do it. Aside from that, however, I think this will be great for XRP and the entire ledger. What we have been seeing in relation to many of these large projects from some of the most prominent institutions, including the BIS, being expanded upon, and this in turn raises demand for the coin XRP. Now that it's out of the way, I really do hope you enjoyed my video. Please like and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.